finally on the couch.
Hi everybody, welcome to On The Beat podcast. We are here again, and sadly this is the last episode of the season, and there's nobody better than Candice Harris. We are graced with Candice Harris, and guess who is Candice Harris? She's one of our fans, yes, who our number one fan, number one fan who have been following the podcast and commenting and doing stuff, and so we decided to fly her in and let her be part of a podcast for herself, but we want to hear what she likes, what are the topics that stand out for her in this season. And sorry for stepping on anybody's toes, because we said she's the number one fan of the podcast. We know that there are many number one fans out there, right? You know yourself, right? So my apologies in that regard. So Candice, welcome to On The Beat podcast.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm finally on the couch.
Yeah, the couch, the black couch, right? And how have you been experiencing Trinidad so far?
Trinidad is a beautiful island. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. Love the weather. I even love the rain, believe it or not.
Wow, she loved the rain, while everybody's saying why it is raining.
Yeah.
For Trini people, we can't, the God can't really please Trini people, because it rains, we say why it rains. When sun shines, we say why it's so hot. And also, Trini people again.
Yes, I came off the plane and like the heat just hit me.
Hit you, pow!
Yes. But that's why I was so thankful for the rain. It kind of cooled down everything for a bit. So yeah, I'm enjoying my time here so far. It's nice.
So Candice, so we're going to play a game, right?
Okay.
Where you're going to interview me based on the topics that you like.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
And the topics have to be what we have covered in this season.
Okay.
So this is how we are going to do the review, guys.
Okay.
Right?
This is going to be tough because I love every episode. Every episode brings something different. So that's going to be hard to narrow that down, but I'll try.
Go ahead. You shoot.
Try.
The floor is yours. You are the host right now.
In no particular order.
In no particular order.
So this season, I've been enjoying a lot of the discussions, but I especially liked a topic that really made me think a little bit, and especially coming down here and traveling, and going through airplane, coming to a new place and stuff. I know you had an episode where you talked about can you survive harsh conditions?
Right.
And what are your survival tactics like? That one made me think a lot. Yeah, so I'm thinking, from your perspective, if you were to get on a plane and be dropped somewhere in the world, didn't know the language, I wouldn't even put you in a jungle. I'll give you some grace. I won't even put you in a jungle. Would you be able to survive just like new space, no money, no nothing, just drop you there? How'd you survive?
Well, incidentally, I have been looking at a YouTube channel called Discomfort, right? And Discomfort, these guys, recently they went in the so-called most harsh place, not harsh is the word, but angry country, the most angry country according to the Google search, right?
Okay.
And they went and they were determined not to go and actually go in a hotel or a nice place or a family. They decided we're going to get to know these people. They split up and they're going to ask for someone for a place to stay. They're going to ask whoever they come up to, hey, can we stay at your house for the night? Can I stay at your house for the night? They could survive. So I said that to say I've seen examples,
Okay.
right? And I think,
Your charm could get you in the door somewhere?
yeah. I think I could, if I was dropped in whatever country in the world, you said I don't know the language, but I'll be signing, you know, I'll like, food, you know, I'll be doing something. And do I have a phone?
No, you know what? I think in
no
this
phone.
scenario, there's no phone. 'Cause
No
there's
phone?
No data, no nothing.
No, nothing. I have no
Nothing.
cash now. Okay.
No.
Okay. I'm going to use my talents.
This is the modern day generations, like, this is what the modern day considers to be like harsh conditions. No cell
Okay.
phone, no money,
Okay. Well, here what I'm going to do.
no Instagram. So how
I'm
you
going to bring.
survive?
I'm going to bring the calypso flavor, the Trini flavor, the soca flavor
Yeah.
to that place, right?
Dance your way into
so
someone's
I'm
house?
going to dance or play. So therefore, I'm going to take a trash can here, a bucket there, break a stick or two, and then start playing.
he's
you know,
gonna bust it on the streets.
Yes, I'm going to bust it on the streets, y'all.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
Soca, parang, soca music, you know, and I say, hey,
actually
have a big party
It's actually a very
on the
smart
streets.
angle. I think you
Yeah.
could survive. I think you would survive. Yeah. So, yeah, that was an episode that made me question, because in Canada, I used to camp, rough it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
do the whole thing. But now I think I like the glamping. So I don't know, harsh conditions. That's what it made me think.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, so that was a good episode. My next favorite episode that really made me reminisce was modern day hobbies. I like that one because, you know what, it made me think, especially in today's culture where just everything is, you get to know people through their profile, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook. It's not really a connected type society, and I think everywhere in the world might be experiencing this. But when you think back to the days of your really childhood youth, and the way we used to socialize and have fun and have engagement and have a social connection.
Community, yeah.
You know, and a lot of the times it was through some of our favorite hobbies, and it could be some of the simplest things. So I remember that episode really made me to reminisce about, you know, what did you do when you were in high school, when you were in, you know, grade school to find friends, to connect, to socialize. You know, sports was a big part of that for most people. You know, after school, playing in the yard.
True.
Yeah, so it's really different for the youth today, and I think there's a little bit of isolation. But what do you think? Like, how do you think that the youth could overcome that, the isolation that maybe they're missing out on?
It takes a community to bring it out. A family, we could start with a family, the heads of the family. They could, because I know of a family who does one activity every week. A child have to come up with an activity that the whole family does, and it have to be an outdoor activity or a creative activity. So the family or the parents of that family could create an atmosphere, because they came from back then. They know what kind of experiences they experienced in their childhood. So they could try to bring that into their household and try to implement it. Even though, you know, it's how some young people would be like mourning and like, come on, please, I'm playing a game here. Why are you standing in front of the TV? You know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
But to engage with people, instead of being isolated, firstly, they start by engaging with their family. And then family engage with the neighbor. And then the neighbor engage with others. And, you know, a ripple effect and becomes a community scenario. Because back then, if we didn't have a yard, we would be playing in the road.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And we have to move the goalposts or whatever for cars to pass.
Yes, absolutely.
and
Yes.
come back.
See, in Canada, it was street hockey, so you'd have the hockey nets.
Yeah.
And then, right when you're about to make that goal, someone yells car. And then,
you have to move. Exactly.
You gotta move it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, those were. And it's a trend, I think, that should be started. I think it should be. There should be a new trend, like, I don't know, give it a hashtag, like, no screen time, and
yeah. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? But that's, I think it does start at home and obviously it could spread like a ripple effect.
Yes,
for sure.
yes.
Yeah, we need
and then to conclude is that families have to understand, they think about security. That's why they don't engage with other people, with their neighbors. But I think security could be maximized by learning who your neighbor is, engaging with your neighbors, right? Befriending your neighbors, because when a neighbor looks after another neighbor, for example, one of my neighbor, whenever she leaves, she say, look over my house for me,
Yeah.
And that's like an enhanced security that instead of isolating yourself in the neighborhood and saying, I'm not talking to this person, I'm not talking to that person, I'm keeping the doors closed.
Yeah.
Open your door and you will see what happens. Open up your doors.
Actually, as a child, my neighbors being in and out of their homes for dinner, and our families knew each other, and my closest friends, the parents of my closest friends, became friends of my family even till today.
You see?
Yeah, that's definitely.
And then to the activity in the household or households, who is going to come and interfere with that? Because there's so much activity, people in and out, and everybody knows each other.
Yeah, got to get back to community for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. And finally, I think it would be amiss if I didn't mention the controversial topics of the queens and respecting
the queen.
Queens. I think that was an important conversation amongst many that you've had this season, but that's an important one because it's touching an issue globally. I think that's affecting every nation in one form or another.
True.
And that is that question about, respect for women in general. Whether it's their physical safety, their ability to play sports, and just have something of their own. And, I think that's in many cultures around the world in different ways being dismissed.
Yeah.
So I think that was an important conversation, and I love the international aspects and just sort of even kind of looking at it from a cross-cultural perspective, that those two conversations were really impactful and really good eye-openers, I think. And so what's your final word on respecting the queens? Like, I mean, women in general around the world, right? And not to say that there's any disrespect for the men, but yeah, how do you see that, like, globally and internationally, the difference of how different cultures are honoring women or respecting women in their culture?
In certain cultures, like I've seen in my travels, that in certain countries, they elevate their woman, they respect the woman, meaning there are gentlemen out there. You understand? Actual gentlemen who would open the door for the ladies.
Yeah.
Who would say, good evening, madam.
Yes.
Right? And so the culture actually proves how much they value the woman. And unfortunately, in some other cultures, they value their woman in a different aspect. They value them as an asset instead of someone who is like priceless. You understand? And when you value a woman as an asset, therefore she becomes a thing.
Yes.
And she have a price tag on her. Therefore, you would want to do anything to her. Just like how you would want to do anything to maybe a chair or a car that you own. You know, you want to own her and dress her as you want, to abuse her and say, hey, go and get my food for me, or those sort of stuff. But once you start treating a woman as who she should be, which is priceless, which is she is valuable beyond measure, because she is like the mother. She carries the child for 9 months, you know, and they have, I mean, the skill level of women is different to men. Women think differently from men, and that's why we need that difference in society as well. So therefore, decision making in corporate and governance and so on, women have value because they think differently. Imagine if men did every single thing. The world would have been different. You know, we would have been lacking sometimes creativity.
Yeah, there's a diversity, and
Yeah.
I think one thing I'm hearing you highlight too is that there is a quality and an influence
Yes,
that women have.
that's right.
And to value that influence and to value those skills and those unique abilities and gifts and things like that could really the fabric of a society,
Yeah.
I think, is better woven when it integrates, you know, the best parts of.
So true.
everybody.
Instead of women dominating or men dominating,
Yeah.
if there's a balance, if there's a way that we hear from each other,
Yeah.
listen to each other and respect. Even something I heard you were saying about the Women World Cup, where transgender was
Yeah.
actually given the green light to play in the Women World Cup. I
Yeah.
find that in itself is a disrespect to women.
Yeah, so every society has a different spin on really devaluing women in culture. So it shocked me, quite
Yeah.
frankly, from an international perspective. But yeah, that's happening. So yeah, it's surprising, but I think women have a space and a place and like you said, an influence that they bring.
Yeah, we shouldn't be using women as a tool. Because a tool could be thrown away. You know, I don't need you anymore. Throw them away.
Yeah.
You know, we should be using them as something that, or someone, because I hate to say something
Yeah.
of a woman. You know, even if you walk the streets of Trinidad, you will hear, she looking like a real good thing, boy. You know. So a woman shouldn't be a thing. They shouldn't be a tool. They shouldn't be something that you could put a price tag on it, where, you know, you selling their bodies and so on. No, they are not here for just duty. Women are not just here for duty. Women are here for what God created them out of his skill, he took his time with them for a reason, with his own hands, you know. And if God showcased value and said women would be a great helper for men, then why are we treating them as though they are pets? Even some of our pets we treat better than women.
So true. That's unfortunate, but so true. Good for the pets, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, but there's been a lot of great conversations
Yes.
through the season, and yeah, those are just a few of my highlights.
Cool.
A few of my highlights, and I'll definitely be sharing, and I encourage you guys to like and share and subscribe. I know you're gonna say that. So.
Yeah, that's
so-
a host there.
Yes, But yeah, there were some great conversations this season. So yeah, looking forward to
Yeah.
what's coming in the next season for sure.
Thank you, Candice. Thank you. And I want to thank those who have been part of the podcast, who have been hosting the episodes this season, and who have actually been interviewed this season. Thank you for being part of season 5 of On the Beat, right? There are some special episodes coming up in September, early September. But for now, season 5 is a wrap, and it's an honor to wrap it up with Candice. Right? And stay tuned. As she said, subscribe. As she said, comment. As she said, make sure you share it.
Yes, yep,
And
all those things.
Peace out from Trinidad and Canada. Peace out. Later.
Thank you for listening to On the Beat podcast. Feel free to share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay blessed, everyone.